is poised to become the world's
fourth largest economy in the world.
मोदी की गारंटी यानी
So news channels are shouting, social media is full of messages, people are celebrating. So India has crossed $4 trillion in GDP. It sounds huge, right? India is now the fourth largest economy in the world, ahead of Japan. On the surface, it feels like a miracle, but wait. Behind this celebration, there is a quite a truth. Because sometimes, milestone can be a sign of progress and sometimes it can also be a warning. You see, the World Bank says there is a danger called the middle income trap.
In India, in Brazil, there's a lot of optimism that countries will move from middle income to high income. In the real world, that's not happened.
It means that we'll be a middle-income country and then our growth will begin to falter unless we're able to increase the sources of demand. It means, in short, we will not be South Korea, we will not be China, we will be Brazil, we will be South Africa. We will be a middle-income country with large numbers of people in poverty.
It's a meager $2,900 per year. Now that ranks India.
This is when a country grows fast, reaches a middle level of income, but then gets stuck. Many countries like Malaysia, Brazil, South Africa and Thailand face this. They were rising stars once, but today they are stuck in middle. And if India is not careful, the same story could happen here. Let me explain with a story.
States of Malaysia are mainly lands of jungles and swamps, so most of the people live near the sea or on the banks of the rivers. To help overcome a limited food supply, the government has built ponds and stock them with fish to provide an additional source of food.
And even though they've been living in the country all their lives, they don't exist legally as a people in the place they were born. But they've been denied their basic rights that other citizens enjoy, including the rights to education, healthcare, and employment. Is there really a future for them living in a home away from home?
In the 1960s, Malaysia was poor. People lived in slum and half of the population could not even read or write. But then, they started building roads, schools and factories. Companies like Intel and Sony came in.
Intel Corporation chose Penang as its first site outside of the US in 1972.
The tech powerhouse currently employs more than 8,000 highly skilled Malaysians.
As Malaysia grows more prosperous, we're beginning to see a rising middle class, which is demanding more services.
In 1980, Malaysia's GDP was near $25 billion and the country's economy has been booming. Malaysia has become a barometer for the emerging markets.
Jobs grew, income rose, and soon Malaysia was called as Asian miracle. Their per capita income went from just a few $100s to more than $10,000.
Part of a wider trend here in Korea to foster the start of new businesses by younger Koreans.
The number of new businesses started by people under the age of 30 hit an all-time high.
Korea has a very strong engineering base and also design talent, which is very important nowadays.
The development of smart cars and eventually driverless vehicles, managing robots in telemedicine or in industry.
It's been found that Hyundai Motors, Samsung Electronics and LG Electronics are among the top 10 global companies with the most patents related to self-driving technology.
Korea also attempted a revolution in the information technology industry. The cutting-edge
But there was a problem. Malaysia was only doing assembly work, putting together product for foreign companies. They never built their own product like Samsung or Apple. They never built their own Samsungs or Apple. So when wage increased, the company moved to cheaper countries like Vietnam. Malaysia had schools and graduates, but very few good jobs for them. Even today, engineers, they are driving taxis and graduates are delivering food. The economy is stalled.
Of the economic downturn and the low wages that we're seeing, especially for university graduates.
They find it very hard to get work which is commensurate with their qualification.
More than 250,000 students graduate from higher education institutions every year. But sadly, 1 out of 5 graduates remain unemployed.
Now, Malaysians should brace for tough times as the economy is facing real problems amid external situations beyond its control.
Projects abandoned, the currency plummeting, banks and major corporations teetering.
Foreign investors the world over are pulling out capital from emerging markets such as Malaysia because of concerns over global growth.
Now think about India. Doesn't this sound similar? India's average income is about $24 $100 per person. But this number hides a bigger truth. India is not just one economy. It's a three Indias living together. The top 10% live like Europe. They earn well, travel abroad and invest in global market. The middle 30% live like Bangladesh. They are moving out of poverty but still very, very insecure. And the bottom billion Indians, yes, 1 billion people, live like some of the poorest country of Africa, struggling with water, toilets and electricity. So while the GDP says India is like Japan, the reality for most people feels nothing like a Japan.
கரண்ட்ல இந்த குழந்தைங்க படிக்கிறதுல ரொம்ப மோசமா இருக்கு. ஹாஸ்டல்ல சேர்த்திருக்காங்க. ஆனா அங்க போய்
What is it meant for rural areas where children don't have access to devices by which they can access online classes?
For the young and the old, this railway track is their equivalent of a bathroom.
These public facilities are filthy, smelling, and the only option for people here if they want to use a public toilet.
Smart grid और smart meter जैसे एडवांस टेक्नोलॉजी का इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है. स्ट्रीट लाइट का आधुनिकीकरण किया जा रहा है.
அப்புறம் நீட்டானால் வெளியே வர முடியாது. இந்த கரெக்ட் பல்ஸ் இல்லாதனால எல்லாமே பாதிக்குது. இவ்வளவுதான் நடக்குது மாறதுக்கு.
And today new challenges are coming. Just recently US put 50% tariff on some Indian exports.
Breaking news we're tracking currently. The Trump administration outlined plans to implement a 50% tariff on products from India in a draft notice published. Now, this is the latest signal that the White House plans to push ahead with the heightened levies.
This means selling our product abroad will become harder. In August, foreign investors pulled over 35,000 crores from India. The stock market shook and rupee fell. GDP shows 7.8% growth, but experts says these may be inflated. The truth is, the celebration is real, but the danger is also real. Now, let's talk about India's own trap. The first trap is education. India produces millions of graduates every year, but only 45% are skilled enough to get a good job. Many students spend years in coaching centers, but not in real innovation. Remember this job in Uttar Pradesh, just 62 posts for peon. About 93,000 people applied, including PhD and engineers. This shows how broken the system is. Degrees are everywhere, but jobs are missing. The second trap is innovation. India spent only 0.7% of the GDP on research. Compare this to South Korea, which spent 5%. India files fewer than 1 lakh patents a year, while South Korea, a country smaller than Uttar Pradesh, files more than 1,50,000. China files around 6 lakh. They build global brand. We are still waiting for our own. The third trap is manufacturing. Make in India was supposed to make us world's factory, but after 10 years, manufacturing is still stuck at 15 to 17% of the GDP. We assemble phone, but we don't design them. We make medicine, but we rarely invent new one. Like Malaysia, we risk staying stuck at the low valued end of the chain. But it doesn't have to be this way. Let's look at South Korea.
It was a country in abject poverty, with its land ravaged by war, and did not have even the most meager resources. This country has no future.
A lot of orphans, and then there are beggars everywhere.
South Korea was reliant on international aid for its continued existence following the end of the Korean War.
Unable to recover from the ruins of war on its own, Korea was forced to rely on foreign aid.
In the 1960s, Korea was poorer than India. They had no resources, no big industries, and their land was destroyed by war. But they had a plan. One generation worked in a factory, making steel, textile, and ship. Their children studied science and engineering, and the next generation built global brand. Samsung, once just assembling TV, now designed the screen of iPhone.
Samsung is a brand name that's everywhere. In more than 100 million US households, Android phones, TVs, refrigerators, and unconventional displays.
So the 13-inch display can be as big as 17-inch. This is the future of display.
Lee has made it one of the world's most important and valuable companies. It's not just making devices, it's making the chips that power them.
People probably don't know that we've led memory for 3 decades.
Samsung gained international notoriety with the world's first 64 megabit DRAM chip in 1992.
Its presence is so ubiquitous in South Korea that they call their country the Republic of Samsung. Every major company out there, Apple, they have to bend the knee to Samsung. They have to get their chips, their displays. This is a company that everybody has to go through at some point to get what they need because they're so influential.
Honda once making cheap car, now building luxury EVs and even flying taxis. South Korea income rose from just $150 per person to $33,000.
Part of a wider trend here in Korea to foster the start of new businesses by younger Koreans.
The number of new businesses started by people under the age of 30 hit an all-time high.
Korea has a very strong engineering base and also design talent, which is very important nowadays.
The development of smart cars and eventually driverless vehicles, managing robots in telemedicine or in industry.
It's been found Hyundai Motors, Samsung Electronics, and LG Electronics are among the top 10 global companies with the most patents related to self-driving technology.
Korea also attempted a revolution in the information technology industry. The cutting-edge enterprises that were founded during the IT boom provided a new...
This happened because they focus on 3 things: investment, infusion, and innovation. Investment in infrastructure and school, infusion of foreign technology, which they improve step by step, and finally innovation, building new product and global brands. India too can do this, but we must not stop at assembly. We must climb higher. Here is something interesting. While the old economy struggled, new economy is already rising in India, the creators economy. Today, millions of Indian creators, YouTubers, Instagram influencer, teacher, gamers, together influence more than $400 billion of spending. By 2030, this sectors alone could be worth $1 trillion, almost equal to Indonesia's entire GDP today. From food blogging in small town to the teacher on the YouTube, they are creating jobs and opportunities in way no government plan imagine. This shows India's strength, our people's creativity. So, is India's $4 trillion GDP a milestone or mirage? The answer is, it's both. It's a milestone because it shows that India is capable of, but it's mirage because many Indians still don't feel the benefit. The choice is ours. If we repeat Malaysia's mistake, we will get stuck. But if we learn from South Korea's vision, we can fly. The real success will not be when India touches $10 trillion GDP. It will be when every Indian family has dignity, job, and security. That will be India's true miracle. So what do you think? Will India break free from middle income trap, or are we already walking into it? Comment below. Let's dig deep together.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired.